But for me, it's not.
This bank has really tough security guards. If anyone looks like they're trying to steal something, 15 guards will show up ready to shoot. The bank also has lots of cameras everywhere that can sense when things move. It gets worse. Right across the street is where the Spanish army stays. They have 500 soldiers ready to help if there's trouble. These soldiers have special weapons too. Even scarier, the person in charge of bank security used to run a big government agency that fights crime and terrorism. He's very good at his job and super strict. He's always watching for anything that seems wrong. The bank's safe is extra tricky. Even expert thieves don't understand how it works. It was built way back in the 1800s. Newspapers back then called it the best building ever made. Inside this safe are very special national treasures. But all these problems couldn't stop a group of thieves. Why? Because they have a super smart young person in their group. This kid figured out how the mysterious safe works and found a way to get inside. Many famous thieves wanted to do this for years but couldn't. How will they break into this bank with all its strict security? Will the thieves' plan work? Keep watching this clever thief movie to find out. The story starts with Walter, who runs a company in England that finds old things from the sea. During one trip, Walter and his team found an old English ship that sank in 1645. A diver named James found a box with 3 old gold coins inside. These coins have a big secret that everyone would want. But before they could celebrate finding these coins, Spanish Navy ships surrounded them. The Navy said Walter's team was taking things from Spanish waters. They took away all the treasures that Walter's team had just found. The box with those old gold coins was put in the world's safest bank by the government. Walter felt really sad when the Spanish Navy took the treasure his team worked so hard to find. He wanted to break into the bank to get those 3 coins back, but Walter wasn't smart enough to break into the bank by himself, and opening that strong vault seemed impossible. Then Walter heard about a super smart kid in his country named Thom. Even though Thom was still a student who hadn't finished school, big companies wanted to hire him. They offered him huge money, about $400,000 every month with great benefits. But smart people often choose their own way in life. Thom didn't want to depend on anyone. His father told him, "You should just pick a company and work there so we won't worry about you." Thom just made unsure noises and didn't decide anything. While talking with his dad, Thom got a weird message saying, "I want to meet you because I am the rarest opportunity of your life." Thom was curious about this opportunity, so he followed the instructions in the message. A girl named Lorraine came to pick him up. She was actually a master thief who was great at stealing and pickpocketing. Thom thought she was pretty and liked talking to her, so he went with her to meet the person who sent the message. Lorraine took Thom to meet Walter. When they sat down to talk, Walter didn't waste time. "I want you to help me break into the most secure bank in the world to get something I found at the bottom of the sea." "Do you think I'm a professional thief?" Thom asked. "I researched you before this meeting," Walter said. "What I need is for you to help us figure out how the vault in that bank works." "Why would I help you do this?" Thom wondered. "If you help and we succeed, you'll get enough money to live comfortably for 5 generations without running out," Walter explained. Then Walter left a plane ticket to Spain on the table and walked away. After looking up this bank online, Thom wanted to test what he could do, so he went to Spain to meet Walter. At the airport, the same thief, Lorraine, picked him up. She took Thom to where the group was staying. Walter was very happy to see Thom. Then Thom met the rest of the team: Klaus, who was amazing with computers, James, who had worked with Walter for many years, and Simon, who helped everyone with different tasks. When these guys saw Thom's young face, they seemed to look down on him, but Thom didn't mind. In his head, he thought, "The more they look down on me, the more I like it." After all, a long journey shows who's really good. By this time, Klaus had made a computer virus. He wanted to put it in the bank's main computer to control the cameras, but they had a big problem. They didn't have the password for the voicemail, so they couldn't get into the bank's computer system. Thom quickly had an idea. Call an employee and pretend to be the bank's messaging service. Tell them they have a voice message. If they want to hear it, they need to enter their password after the beep. Surprisingly, this simple trick worked perfectly. Klaus got access to some of the security cameras inside the bank. Even though it wasn't a brilliant idea, for people who didn't know this trick, it was very hard to do. Walter then shared the secret of the 3 gold coins with Thom. The story was about an English sailor from the 1500s who had carried lots of treasure on a Spanish royal ship and buried it. Today, nobody knows where that treasure is hidden. 30 years ago, Walter bought a letter with clues about where the treasure was buried. It turned out the exact position and coordinates were carved right on those 3 gold coins. Walter had spent many years searching for these coins at sea, and now the Spanish government was keeping them in this super secure bank. Walter promised Thom he would share the treasure's value equally with everyone in the group if they succeeded, and if they failed, he would still pay them well for their time. Thom made the long trip to this country. After talking together, the whole group made a plan. First, they needed to pretend to be from the bank and call the cleaning company. They told them to cancel cleaning for a few days because of problems with the bank's alarm system. Simon and Thom dressed up as cleaners from that company. They played their part so well that they got through security with no problems. Both of them went inside the bank to start their plan. Lorraine acted as someone who checks valuable paintings for damage. She walked right through the main entrance and met Gustavo, the head of security. He didn't suspect anything about this girl who knew so much about art. Lorraine even cleverly asked the old man to hold her bubble tea so she could get his fingerprint. Klaus watched everyone from home through cameras. He signaled Simon to sneak into a technical room. Simon connected some special device to the signal ports so Klaus could see all the security cameras in the bank. Meanwhile, Lorraine was taken by a guard to the bank president's office to look at some rare paintings. When the guard left, she quickly took out her tool and scanned the painting very fast. At home, Klaus slowed down the video and made a loop. This tricked the security team into thinking she was still just looking at the painting. But really, Lorraine was searching for where the vault keys were hidden. She found one and copied it using a special 3D technology device. Just as she finished copying the first key, the president suddenly walked in. This was dangerous because Klaus's video loop was almost finished. If security noticed two different images, their plan would fail. Thinking quickly, Lorraine asked the old man to stand back so she could take a picture. The president didn't suspect anything and did what she asked. Luckily, she barely escaped being caught. After he left, Lorraine quickly scanned the second key hidden behind another painting. At the same time, Thom was working on his part. His job was to go into a meeting room so he could scan the structure of the vault from above. Thom crawled under the meeting room table and turned on his scanner, but bad luck hit when a group of people came in for a meeting. Thom had to stay very quiet under the table. When someone dropped some papers and started to bend down to get them, Thom almost got caught. Suddenly, an alarm went off. Everyone ran outside, which saved Thom from being found. It turned out the scanner's electrical pulse had set off the alarm. Guards from the army across the street quickly surrounded the bank and got ready to fight. The security boss said nobody could leave the bank. Lorraine had just finished copying the second key, but didn't have time to put it back when the president rushed in and told her to come out with him. The whole team was worried and didn't know what to do next. Thom bravely said he would catch the key Lorraine had dropped and put it back. Luckily, he caught it perfectly before it hit the floor. Just as he finished putting the key back in its safe place, a guard walked in. "Hey you, what are you doing here?" the guard asked. "Oh my god, I was wearing headphones so I didn't hear the alarm," Thom answered quickly. "Get out immediately," the guard ordered. Gustavo, the security head, saw that the alarm came from near the vault, but when he sent guards to check, they found nothing wrong. He had no choice but to let everyone go home. After getting all the data from the bank, Thom showed how smart he really was. With his amazing brain, he noticed a blurry spot the scanner couldn't see clearly. It was water. Above the vault was a water tank. The engineers from the 1800s had made a trap for anyone trying to break in. Water would spray out of pipes and fill the whole vault, drowning the thieves. Thom also found out that when the vault was built, they didn't have motion sensors like today. Instead, they used a giant weighing scale. If something heavy enough touched the scale, it would trigger the system and water would rush in right away. Now, the hardest problem was figuring out how to deal with this scale if they wanted any chance of breaking into the vault, especially after the incident that brought special forces to the bank but found nothing. The security boss was in big trouble with the president for scaring tourists. They found out it was World Cup season, and crowds were gathering in the square to cheer for Spain's team. The president's helper thought the alarm went off because of magnetic fields from power generators and the big TV screens showing the football match. Meanwhile, James and Simon crawled through the sewers and found the bottom of the giant scale. It was just like Thom said, an amazing piece of old engineering from before modern times. Their main problem now was that drilling a way up to the vault would take at least 15 days. If they drilled faster to save time, it would make too much noise and they'd be caught. They wanted to use the World Cup time when people were cheering in the square for their plan, but the final match would be over in just 8 days. Walter sadly thought about giving up because this problem seemed too hard. The whole gang started to lose hope. But sometimes when life gets tough, good ideas come up. Walter happened to climb to the roof of a building across the street. He saw that when fans cheered for football, the security cameras pointed at the crowd instead. This meant they could break in from above. But this plan would only work if the Spanish team made it to the final match. Luckily, Spain won their semi-final game. Now they just needed to solve how to get into that secret vault. While working in the control room, the security boss heard cleaning workers talking about how the bank had called days ago asking them not to clean because of a problem. This made him remember the two people who said they were new cleaners who came into the bank. After looking at camera recordings, they had pictures of Thom and Simon, but since these two had never been caught doing crimes before, the face-matching computer couldn't find them. The security boss became very careful. He doubled the number of guards working and put in more cameras to watch every small space in the bank. Thom spent many nights without sleep, working hard to find a way to beat that giant scale. Finally, his smart brain thought of using nitrogen gas to spray on the scale. Metal freezes when super cold nitrogen gas hits it. For a scale that big, they would need at least 500 kilos of nitrogen gas to make it freeze solid. Simon would take care of getting this. After everyone agreed, the group started working on their plan. First, they had to make a fake fingerprint of the security boss. Then they made copies of the 2 keys needed to open the vault door. Walter secretly made 3 fake coins too. What were these fake coins for? You'll have to wait until the end of the movie to find out. At last, the final match between Spain and the Netherlands arrived. Soon, one of the biggest bank robberies ever would happen in this country. People gathered like ants in the square below to cheer for their team. Everyone in the group was ready with their break-in plan. Thom, Lorraine, and James used ropes to swing from a roof across the street. They cut through the glass roof and lowered themselves down into the bank lobby on ropes. Klaus watched all the guards' movements and told the team where to go. Thanks to this smart hacker pointing out every hiding spot, the 3 didn't get caught by any guards. Next, they crawled through air ducts heading toward the vault. Gustavo was being super careful during the final match because he had a feeling thieves might use this chance to break into the bank. He was personally in charge in the control room. After crawling through the air duct, the 3 found a huge empty space between 2 buildings with a very deep drop below. They quickly put together a ladder to cross to the other side. James went last, and when he was in the middle, the ladder started to slip. He used all his strength to jump across. Luckily, Thom grabbed James's hand just in time, saving him from falling to his death. By now, Klaus had stolen the code that let the 3 open the first security door of the vault. Next was another super strong door. Now they needed to use the fake fingerprint of Gustavo and the 2 copied keys to open this door at the same time. The door couldn't be opened without all 3 people working together. The fingerprint and keys matched perfectly, and the final door opened. Now they faced a floor sitting on top of a large weighing scale. Simon, who was waiting in the sewer below, got the signal and started pumping all the nitrogen gas onto the bottom of the giant scale. Everyone held their breath, hoping for a miracle. Soon enough, it happened. The giant scale froze solid. Thom went first to make sure it was safe. When he saw it was stable, everyone quickly went inside to look for the box with the 3 coins. Meanwhile, Gustavo noticed while on duty that the sensors in the lobby weren't working. He quickly sent the security team to check. They found a hole in the roof. Gustavo knew something bad was happening. He immediately called the army to surround the bank. At this moment, the nitrogen gas at the bottom of the scale started to wear off, making the scale slowly start working again. Lorraine found the box, but as soon as James saw it, he pulled out a gun and pointed it at Thom and Lorraine. He demanded that Lorraine give him the box. It turned out James was actually working for the British Queen. He wanted to take the box back to England. The scale was now working normally again. Worried, Lorraine threw the box to James and tried to jump out with Thom, but it was too late. The door quickly slammed shut, trapping all 3 of them inside the vault. Water from the pipes started flooding in. The military forces also rushed in like angry bees. Inside the vault, the water level rose very fast. James had expected this and brought special tools. As a professional diver, James calmly swam down and tried to escape through a water drain pipe. Lorraine and Thom were very scared because the water had risen so high. If the water didn't stop coming in, they would surely drown. In this life or death moment, Thom's smart brain suddenly had an idea to solve the problem. It was all about weight. The kid quickly asked Simon to help him put as much weight as possible on the scale. Simon quickly gathered all the empty nitrogen gas tanks and put them on the scale. He even sat on it himself to add more weight. The 2 team members at home held hands and prayed for their friends to survive safely. Then another miracle happened. The water pipes stopped flowing, and the 2 of them escaped death just in time. The bridge connected to the vault again, and the guards with Gustavo rushed in. But strangely, they found nobody inside, just an empty vault. The old man couldn't understand how they had escaped. After looking around for a while, he realized these clever thieves got away through the water pipe and air duct in the ceiling. Knowing the thieves couldn't be far, Gustavo sent everyone to hunt them down. Thom and Lorraine crawled back into the old air duct to escape, but now Klaus couldn't help guide them through cameras because soldiers had surrounded all the exits. The windows were bulletproof glass that couldn't be broken. Lorraine told Thom to follow her because she suddenly remembered an escape route on the 3rd floor. The guards chased them closely. Lorraine and Thom quickly ran into the president's office. Gustavo felt happy and calm, thinking these two had walked right into a trap. But surprisingly, when the team burst through the door, there were no thieves to be found. During her earlier visit to examine paintings, Lorraine had noticed a window left open where the president often smoked. Gustavo looked down angrily, seeing his 2 targets disappearing into the crowd. He wanted to pull out his gun and shoot them, but a worker stopped him. "Are you crazy? Do you know how many people are down there?" the worker said. He sent soldiers to find the 2 thieves dressed in black in the crowd of fans, but Thom and Lorraine had planned for this. They quickly took off their outer clothes and turned into normal fans. They even hugged and kissed like a loving couple, making the soldiers give up because they couldn't recognize them anymore. Later, Walter met with Margaret. This woman and James were actually spies for England. Walter tried to make a deal about the 3 coins, but she refused rudely. James took the 3 coins back to England and asked a professor to find the treasure coordinates on the coins, but he didn't know that Walter had suspected him all along. Walter had asked Lorraine to switch the real coins for fake ones. These fake coins had wrong coordinates, making James and Margaret very angry. Meanwhile, on an island in western France, Walter's group was relaxing on vacation. Thom had earned a license to fly planes. The clever Lorraine and Klaus took out the 3 real coins to enter the coordinates. They were very surprised when the treasure turned out to be in a bank in England. This was another bank with very modern, top-level security. A new challenge began for the 4 of them. Their goal was to successfully get that valuable treasure to share among themselves. Let's look forward to the next episode to see what plans Thom has for this new bank.